How's it going, New World? Sethphir here, and today we are back, and we're going to be taking a look at what is to come on the PTR in terms of economy and gold. So today I'm going to show you what is going to go up in price and what may fluctuate down, and maybe some tips and tricks that will help you make some money going into the new patch. I'll also wrap it up with my top 3 summary of the things that I personally will be investing in, and again, with everything, go ahead and take this with a grain of salt, that it is my personal opinion, so it may be wrong, so just keep that in mind. So I've been doing a lot of testing on the PTR, and the first thing we should definitely talk about is going to be gypsum and how that's going to affect prices in the economy. So if we go over here, and this is just coming from my knowledge in game, the obsidian gypsum is coming from elite monsters, no consequence there to the market. This one is going to be coming from dungeons, so the last boss of Lazarus and Garden, so you're going to be wanting to create this one every day, so that means that the demand for tuning orbs is going to go up. So the prices for tuning orbs will be increasing just due to the fact that you want to get this sapphire gypsum. The next one is going to be the emerald gypsum, which comes from leveling up a trade skill. This will also go up because people will be trying to hit their trade skill mile marks with the aptitude system, so they're going to be processing more goods, so that means that people are going to be buying just goods in general that are related to crafting skills. So keep that in mind. The next one is going to be the citrine gypsum, and this one is going to be the first unique bump that we have seen for this price market in a long time. The price for arena keys is going to go up. It's now going to be in demand, and people are going to be crafting those things. So everything associated with the materials that you need to craft an arena key, which we'll take a look at later, is going to go up in price value because people are going to be selling entry into these dungeons, and you're going to personally want to do one of these every single day. So at the very least, you're going to need to go out there and get the materials to get them. So the price of arena key materials is going to go up. That's talking about things like the Spriggan and the Siren Queen and then the Protector's Arena, right? So the next one is going to be Amethyst Gypsum. This one doesn't have any consequence. It just comes from portals, so there's going to be no price fluctuation there. So it's just something you're going to get from having to do tuning orbs anyways, right? You need portals to get fragments to make tuning orb keys, so you're going to be doing this naturally, and it's BOP, it's nothing anybody can sell. Outpost Rush is going to be the ruby gypsum, so that's not going to matter too much anyways. People will be queuing Outpost Rush and getting gold, fantastic for them. And then the next one is going to be a topaz gypsum, which comes from the potion required to make on a daily cooldown now and not a weekly cooldown, where you can collect treasure from monsters level 55 and above. The price of elemental animals to create this potion could go up a tiny bit, but they said they're lowering the amount from 5. I'm guessing it's going to go down to 1 since you can make the potion every day or less. So I wouldn't expect it to go up too high, but maybe elemental animals price value going up a tiny bit. And that's talking about things like blight moth and the spine fish and the earth turtle shell, those things like that. So that's going to be all for the gypsum section. We're going to go ahead and speed run this bad boy and head up here because there's a lot of price fluctuations that are going to be happening here in the future. And we'll talk about each station, so you can kind of skip through to the station that is relevant to you, or if you want to listen to all of them and become more informed on the market, that's also a good go-to. So the first station here is going to be the outfitting station. With the introduction of the timeless shards, which is going to be something going up in value, that means that these materials like iron, battle, metal, and all of the appropriate attribute things, like this one's for strength, the one for dexterity is the rough leather beaded straps, and then, you know, there's some for intelligence, there's linen, arcane, embroidery. You can go down the list, but anything that gives a modification for a suffix, like intelligence, strength, focus, constitution, those crafting mod prices are going to go up a little bit because you need 10 of them to create a timeless shard recipe item, which means that you can guarantee the attribute and one perk of your choice, which is going to be the best way to craft gear going forward in the future. So with that being said, the price of all materials in general is probably going to go up for 2 reasons. One, people are going to be making these timeless shard recipes, so they're going to be using more ingredients like these 24-hour cooldown items right here. So all this phoenix leaf, runic leather, and asmodeum is all going to go up. Every single bit of it's going to go up, but at the same time, it won't go up too much because they're making it easier to create these cooldowns. So now a lot more people on your server will be creating these items, so there may be a bit more in the market. So I would expect it to fluctuate up and down and maybe stabilize eventually, right? So just keep that in mind, that some of these could go up or down depending on the supply and demand need. So this is going to be going into the other parts of outfitting here. There's not too much that you can create here, a few bags and things like that, but some people may be trying to level up armoring with this method, so they would be using some of these smaller supply values. So if I were to go here and just make like, oh, I don't know, where's it at? The basic stuff, well, I guess it would just be whatever this is, like infused fur, but just different without the timeless shard. You would be using things like silk and coarse leather or iron or whatever you would need. So like infused silk will probably go up a little bit too, because people are going to be trying to level up their armoring and hit that tick for aptitude, right? And the best way to do that with armoring, from what I've heard, is just creating gloves over and over again, like super cheap gloves, and breaking them down and building them up. So they're going to be trying to hit that value so that they can get the aptitudes trade skill thing, and they can also get the box at the 3rd aptitude step for the 600 gear score guaranteed item. And that's going to be for all crafting professions that create a product. So like armoring and, you know, jewel crafting, weaponsmithing, those things like that. All the other professions will not be affected. Okay, so that's going to be that one for outfitting station. Let's go ahead and move on to the loom. The loom is going to see increased prices in Phoenix Weave because everyone is going to be making more of this. It's going to be more needed on the market. Basically, the economy is going to be booming. So the price of this is going to go up. The cooldown of it is going to go up. And the price of some of these materials will probably go down, but what will go up is wire fiber in general. And the PTR, you can now use 250 of the raw refining ingredient, so like whatever the gathering skill version of that is, to create a legendary item. You can do this apparently 10 times a day, so you can use, you know, quite a bit of wire fiber to create blister weave. So if you want, you could create this product out of thin air. It's probably not going to be super worth for something like the loom, but for a thing like asmodeum, like the smith, it's going to be pretty strong. So we'll talk about that as we move on up here. So I would expect the price of wire fiber to go up a little bit. I would also expect the price of Phoenix Weave to go up. So that's going to be it for the loom. Let's go ahead and head up the stairs here and move on to our next section. Now we're going to be talking about the tanner. The tanner should go up quite a bit. I think that the demand for infused leather is going to go up quite high. So anything involved in making that process, so layered leather, rugged and coarse as well, is all going to go up because you need them in order to get to this final step where you can make this. The other thing that is going to go up in value is probably going to be ironhide. Before it was useless and you got so much of it, but now you can transform it into scarhide. And for this very reason, the value of scarhide and smolderhide is probably going to drop even more. It's going to go really far down because it's going to be so easy to get all this ironhide. You're going to just turn it into smolderhide and scarhide, which is already easy to get. So the value of this is going to drop. And I would also expect to see a small drop in the value of runic leather, but the demand is so high for it, it's a really tricky item. Like, it doesn't require a lot to make, but this product is very valuable because it's used in literally everything. So it should have a small dip because people are going to be creating more on it, but that means the demand for infused leather is going to go up super high, and then the value of this should eventually rise up really high because everyone's going to be using this product for pretty much anything in the game. It's used for all high-end crafts, and also if you want to make 600 gear score bags, it's going to become very useful there. And with more people using this product to hit their aptitude bonus thresholds and even use the timeless shard system to create more powerful items, it should probably go up over time. So I would definitely keep an eye on this one. So I'm expecting a slight dip and then a huge rise on runic leather. So next we'll go ahead and dive into the next one. Let me just double check. Yeah, nothing else there. This is going to be woodcutting. So woodcutting's in a tricky spot. Weird wood is currently very hard to get due to the lack of being able to chop those dogs, like the elemental animals, within the world. That was disabled. So, and it's still disabled on the PTR. So there's weird wood is coming only from weird wood trees, which is a little difficult to get at the moment. So the price of that makes ironwood planks expensive, and it also makes weird wood and weird wood planks expensive as well. The thing here is that you can now turn raw ironwood into barb vine and wildwood, which will significantly help because the price of wildwood was pretty far up there. Same with some of the barbvine was a little bit cheaper just due to the way the economy was before, when it used to take 2 wildwood and only 1 barbvine to make this glittering ebony. But the price of ironwood, I think, will go up because you can now just transform it into the wildwood, which was the most expensive component, and it's pretty easy to get ironwood. As you can see, I even have 2,300 on the PTR, so no big deal here. So I'm expecting the price of wildwood to go down, the price of barbvine to go down, the price of ironwood to go up, and the price of planks, both weirdwood and ironwood, to also go up a little bit. Along with that will come the glittering ebony cooldown, which will probably go up because more people will be making high-end crafts and needing this material to push their trade skill aptitude, so it's going to get consumed more, and people are going to be going after these cooldowns. So this will go up. So it's going to, you see the theme here, all 22 or 24 hour cooldown items that crafted at the 200 level are going to go up in value. So if you have all your refining skills maxed, you're going to be making a lot of cash coming into this next PTR patch here. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the next station. That's going to be the workshop. The workshop is going to follow the same principle as the outfitting station, as people are going to be using these timeless shards and the iron battle metals once again to create items with attributes of their choice. You're probably going to see more lean on a lot of the dex items here, obviously, but you got to look at what are the most people running in the game, right? And I think the most of the people in the game are like strength users, so strength's probably going to be your most big go-to, but constitution is a very universal component, so this Iron Guard's insignia is probably going to be one of the more valuable ones for that. Anything else in engineering related is going to be the things that are good to level up with. So from what I've heard, the best ways to level up with engineering is to make things like proficiency boosters, because they're useful anyways, because you can sell them for a good amount. You can also make the items like, where's it at? I think it was like gunpowder or something like that. Yeah, the gunpowders. Gunpowder is decent to level up, from what I've heard with engineering. And then the big one, I think, is the ironwood fishing pole. If we can find that somewhere. Here it is. Ironwood fishing pole. So this is going to be something that's going to be going up. People are going to be wanting it, so that means ironwood planks and then whatever you make up here, because it's going to give you a lot of engineering experience, right? So this is going to be what you're going to need to hit your engineering aptitude, and there's probably some people out there that are better at engineering than I am and could tell you the perfect math way to kind of get all this engineering furnishing level up and all that stuff, but maybe you should check out some of those guides. I'm not exact super expert on engineering. I'm just looking at a broad overview topic from what I've heard from talking with 200 engineers that kind of do this stuff all day long. So that being said, ironwood planks should probably go up, and any engineering material required to make a significant item that would boost your engineering gear score. So that's also going to come from producing these guns on a basic level. So orichalcum ingots will probably go up, as well as some of the other items. I know that a lot of people make spears and bows sometimes too, so making something like that could probably go a long way. Once again, that would probably be more ironwood and stuff like that. So ironwood planks going to be shooting up in price once again. So you can kind of see the theme for that. Multiple professions are increasing the price of these items. So with engineering out of the way, we'll go ahead and move on over here to the far left, and we'll talk about smelting. There's a lot of great stuff here. So now on the PTR, you can now smelt orichalcum ingots from platinum. So platinum now has value. In order to make platinum, you need gold. So now gold has value. And in order to make gold, you need silver. So now silver has value. So the prices of silver, gold, and platinum should be shooting up very soon, because you will use that to make additional orichalcum ingots. Orichalcum ingots price is going to be going through the roof, because everybody's going to be trying to level up their professions and level up their trade skill aptitude professions. And orichalcum ingots is used in pretty much everything, right? So if a weaponsmith wants to hit his threshold and get his tier 3 aptitude box, he's coming here and he's getting all kinds of orichalcum ingots. He's going to be buying it from the auction. He's going to be farming it. And if orichalcum ingots is going up, then you know that both platinum and star metal is going to go up, and all of the components required to make those items. So star metal would take steel, which means that steel takes iron. So everything in there is going to be going up in price. So with that being said, you should be able to see the trend there. there. The only other additional thing is that you can now use orichalcum ore to make cinnabar and tolvium, which is huge. So the price of orichalcum ore is going to go through the roof. It should be probably 10 times the price it is by now, I'm sure, before I even make this video, and it will probably continue to rise as people will be farming the living crap out of mining. Since it only requires 16k XP to hit the next tick on aptitude, it is an easy way to get emerald gypsums, and it will be a fantastic way, even if you don't hit cinnabar or tolvium and get lucky while you're mining, doesn't matter, you still got a bunch of orichalcum ore, and you can turn it into tolvium and cinnabar, which is super valuable, which means more people will be making asmodeum, which means more asmodeum will be on the market. Again, a slight dip at first, but as time goes on and people start using this consumable, asmodeum prices will be going up as well. So everything related to these 24-hour cooldowns will be shooting through the roof as it's a brand new patch. Everyone's hyped. Everyone's going to be wanting the materials to hit the new aptitude profession boxes, and they're going to be buying everything, literally everything. So get ready for that. In addition to that, people are going to have more gold to spend because they're going to be doing dungeons constantly, which give a lot of gold, and doing arenas constantly, which also give a lot of gold. So you're going to see an influx of gold in the economy, so people are going to be spending more, buying more. So these are going to be all the items to look out for sure. Next, we're going to move on to the next station, which is going to be the stone cutting table. Now, the stone cutting table has prices that are going to be going through the roof as well, probably more so than anything else, because now the dungeons are giving a lot of expertise upgrades. You're going to get 3 guaranteed expertise upgrades just from doing Garden of Genesis, because there are 3 bosses inside, and all bosses now have a guaranteed expertise upgrade. Lazarus Instrumentality will give you 2 guaranteed upgrades, as well as some of the best items in the game, period, coming from this dungeon. And as people's expertise levels are going to be accelerating into infinity, they're going to be leveling up so fast, they're going to be hitting 600 gear score items very quickly, so getting into these dungeons is going to be a big deal. The prices of all tuning orbs should be rising up. Genesis orb should be going through the roof, same with Lazarus tuning orb, and even the arena keys. Now that they have value with the Gypsum system, people will be creating the Siren's orb, the Monoecious orb, and the Protector's orb as well, so they're going to be needing all these ingredients. The top one is BOP, this one is from the faction vendor, and lodestone brick is going to be something everyone needs. Energy core means that you need elemental motes, so that's going to go up in demand, and these items or components that were previously not very high on the market will be going through the roof, like the fancy shell, the firefox, and the glowing swamp moss. So once again, we'll take a look at the bricks, the lodestone bricks, as these are going to be in super high demand. It's going to take a lodestone and then stone brick. Stone brick's just made from stone block, and stone block is gathered from stone, so that means people are going to be hitting boulders, and no one wants to hit a boulder. They're just going to buy it from the auction house. So the price of all of this is going to go through the roof, including obsidian voidstone, because obsidian voidstone is something used to make runestone, which is a 24-hour cooldown, and you need a lot of these voidstones. They're hard to make, and people will need runestones to make their dungeon keys. They need to hit these dungeon key caps weekly because you're going to get so much valuable gear from here in the new patch. It's going to be insane. Plus, it's also going to allow you to hit your gypsum orb daily cooldown of getting the sapphire orb. So these are going to go through the roof as well. So make sure you check out on that. And of course, every single other ingredient related to making a tuning orb is going to go up in value. So that means that all of these elemental heart, which is going to be all of the motes, and the energy core, which is just a combination of the heart and the eternal and the elemental heart. So every single mote in the game should be going up in value. So if you can start gathering some of these things, you can maybe purchase them at a low price, because the second the patch hits, these are going to go through the roof and everyone's going to be buying the crap out of them. As well as we touched up before, a lot of the materials like the molten rune, or not the molten rune, like the corrupted rune is going to go up in value, because this is a hard one to get from mangled cleave, so that its price is going to keep rising because people need to make their Genesis orbs and they don't want to go out there and get the elite chest and mangled cleave. The Lazarus core should probably go down a little bit in some of the earth totem prices, because malevolence is now going to be a part of the core end game, so it's going to be a level 66 part of the game. You're going to be going to malevolence daily, so I'm expecting a lot of people to have these earth totems, so the price of earth totems should go down a lot. a lot. So that one should probably sink into oblivion. And then, of course, once again, you have the Undying Heart required to create the Lazarus Core, which means that all quintessence of death, soul, and life is going to go up, which means all the motes of those values are going to go up again. So be that as it may, pretty much every mote is going to go up. All components for the tuning orbs is going to go up in price, and you're going to see a drastic change in demand coming for these items here, especially the items that are new, like the Fancy Shell, Firefox, and Glowing Swamp Moss, which are going to be now in demand, as where before no one did arenas. Not a soul did arenas, right? Like, you maybe did it once for fun and like, hey, I did it, but now you're going to be creating these cooldowns. So you can make 5 of these orbs every week, or every week basically. So you're going to need to hit these pretty hard, and you're going to need a lot of components. That's going to be 25 fancy shells. So make sure to try to keep up on top of that. If you can't, it's not a big deal, because do keep in mind that you only need to hit 7 arenas for the week. So if you have a group of friends and you all make 1 orb, you should be good with making 1 or 2 extra. You can maybe even purchase them off of a player, but just keep in mind that all these prices are going to be going up. Okay, so let's dive into the next one here. That's going to be the Forge. The Forge is going to be a similar story to the Outfitting Station and the Engineering Station, as once again, you see the battle metals are going to be going up in price, and the Timeless Shards are going to be in high demand for certain things like probably the Great Axe and, the Tower Shield recipe, like the things that people really want. So these things are going to go up through the roof, which means that orichalcum is going to go up a lot significantly to level up the weaponsmithing aptitude. The same story as all the other professions. You kind of get the drift here. The only other thing that I would say would be going up into demand is probably going to be the weapon stones, so like the honing stones. Down here, the powerful ones will probably be going up because, you're going to need obsidian voidstone, which is going to be more scarce, as well as both of these quints, because everyone's going to be buying motes. And this is going to be the best stone that you can use for dungeons, so a lot of top-end players and speedrunners like to use these. So the price on this should be going up also. So keep in mind that was going to be going forward into the future. And then people are going to be trying to level up weaponsmithing. They're going to be trying to level up armor smithing with the other route, and even get some of this aptitude for the box so they can hit the tier 3 and get the special recipes for the guaranteed 600 item. So it's going to be a frenzy on these materials. So once again, orichalcum going up very, very high. Next, we'll go ahead and head up the section here. And, we did forget to talk about one minor thing. I'll talk about Jewelcrafting, which I believe is in the workshop area. Nope, this is furnishing, right? Furnishing. We'll get to that at the end, actually, because furnishing is going to be a really special section. Jewelcrafting is in armoring, so we'll talk about that real quickly here. Kind of separated out, because in my mind, I don't know why Jewelcrafting doesn't have its own station. It's so weird. But we'll go ahead and dive in here. But we'll take a look at Jewelcrafting. So for Jewelcrafting, you can get the timeless recipe for jewelry, so it's going to be the same thing as all the other stations that require that. So the specific attribute shards are going to go up. The timeless recipe for the amulet, the ring, and the earring is going to be in high demand. And then, of course, gems are going to go up because everyone's going to be buying gems of the appropriate type. I would expect luck gems to go up really high in price. Onyx seems to be a very popular cut. A lot of people want that physical ward, and I think opal is also a decent cut as well to get the elemental damage award. But I think currently in the meta of the game, the onyx is probably going to be your best bet, or a specific type of resistance like moonstone to guard you against slash, which would be great axe, or even whichever the one that gives thrust is. I'm not sure which one that is, but that one would probably be good because bow users and spear users are really going to start to be hurting hard. Another great choice would be the split alternatives like pristine diamond, as well as the malachite, because they give a little bit more resistance in exchange for spreading it out a little bit and not being pushed into one area. So these gem prices should be going up a good amount too. So just keep that in mind. Everyone's going to be going after platinum as well, so they're going to be getting more gems. They're going to be cutting it and selling it on the market. And not to mention that gems and stone cutting is going to be going up quite a bit too, because it's going to be the best way to push your stone cutting aptitude, and you're going to be able to get free boxes from that. So just a small side note there. So going into that, the price of making anything is going to be going up through the roof. So like all these silver chains is going to be the cheapest you can make. Silver is going to be going up very high because you're going to want to craft these for experience, right? Like you want to make the best experience possible so that you can keep leveling up your jewel crafting skill and hit that aptitude box, as it is separate from armor smithing. So with jewel crafting out of the way, we'll go ahead and keep going up, and then we'll touch on furnishing last because that's going to be the big boy, right? We're going to see some interesting stuff if the data mining is true and all the stuff is true, so we'll talk about that here in a bit. But now we'll move on to Arcana. Arcana is going to be a very interesting section here because leveling up through staffs is decent but not the best route to go. But ironwood planks will still go up in value because you can get some decent XP and value from these things, and actually it can be quite a lot. So ironwood planks may be a very strong route to go, so they're probably going to be in high demand. Once you reach 200 Arcana skill, you will get boxes, and if you hit trade skill aptitude 3, you will get a guaranteed 600 recipe item, and that's going to be highly coveted. If people would love a 600 life staff or fire staff, void gauntlet, ice gauntlet, you name it, they're definitely going to be wanting that item. So with that being said, the timeless shard recipes for that item will be going up as well, and also the metals or the little things, but for this one in particular, I think it would probably be intelligence, so you're probably going to, and focus also, so you're going to be looking for the linen arcane embroidery, should be going up in price, as well as the soft prayer beads. So that's going to be for the focus attribute. So those will be going up, as well as, I believe, the second best thing after leveling the staffs is probably going to be your infused health potion. You can level these up quite a bit, so your infused alkahest is going to go up, which is just azoth water. That's going to go up high in demand, as well as the small little things around here. So you can no longer use life motes as a component here, so that means that life bloom stem is probably going to be your go-to, or some of these other ingredients like gill flowers, plate cap flesh, or plate cap flesh. These things are hard to say. Oh my gosh. Yeah, some bullcrop and things like that. Bullcrop's probably one of the easier ones to get, in my opinion, so you might have to go after that one. But you could just use earth motes and soul motes here for some of these other ones and make it really cheap, but it does give quite a bit of Arcana XP, and people will be wanting these health potions anyways for dungeons, for outpost rush, so you can sell the products that you make very easily, and you don't lose a lot of money when you go to create this item. So health potion's probably going to be number one, in my opinion. The second one is going to be ironwood and creating like high level orichalcum items, and then just scrapping it and creating more. So that's going to be something interesting to see with Arcana. The more you can level this up, the more you can get those tier 3 aptitude boxes and have a chance at the 600 gear score. Guaranteed crafts, and this will be something I will be doing personally. And of course, as always, the price of motes is going to go up. There's a huge profit opportunity for you here because everyone's going to be wanting the quintessence in order to make some of the high level engineering proficiency things and everything else that they need. And if they don't have Arcana leveled up themselves, they're going to have to buy it from the auction house. Now, the place where you make money with this is you look at the price of motes, and then you also have a potential bonus to create additional motes. It should be 20%, and you just create them up. So if I make my motes into wisps, I get 20% more wisps there, and then I take them and I make them into essence, I get 20% more essence. And then if I get super lucky when I'm making quints, and let's say I make 10 quints and I proc for some reason 5 additional bonus quints with my 20% extra, and I get really lucky, boom, I just doubled my money and I just made 15 quints, and I could just sell these for crazy prices on the auction house, right? So every single mote in the game is going to go up. The main demand is going to be on death quints, as it's required to make a lot of the good materials here, and especially the toning keys, or the tuning orb keys, sorry, going in for that. So death, life, and soul should be going up quite a bit, as well as fire and death for some of the other crafts. And then of course the other ones will go up as needed based on some of the other trade skill professions that will be being used here. So that's going to be it for Arcana. That's going to be the highest demand that you will see most likely. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the kitchen, and then we'll talk about our final topic, which will be furnishing. I know this is going to be quite a bit of a long video, and then after that I'll give you my top 3 personals, and then we'll go from there. So the kitchen, I'm expecting things to go up. The best way to level up the cooking is probably going to be the cheapest way to level up the cooking, right? So you're probably going to be looking at things like a hearty meal or an energized hearty meal. It's pretty much the same thing. So you're going to be looking at all the small and cheapest cooking ingredients that you can use. So if you were somebody who bought a lot of honey and milk, now might be your time to shine. It was okay before, and I know some people said to invest in it and it wasn't very good, but it might go up a little bit. Don't hold your breath though. A lot of these ingredients are very easy to get, so this would probably be my ideal, because going into Imperial Palace now, you're going to get a lot of rice and a lot of sugar, so you're going to probably have most of these figured out. Honey and milk is easy to get. It's kind of free in the world, and nuts are super easy to gather, right? And you can always exchange honey and milk for easy things like berries and blueberries or whatever you may find out in the wild, because they're really easy to pick up. So some of these may go up, and people are going to be trying to hit up their trade skill aptitude level up with cooking via these methods. If you want the money making method, your best bet is going to be to make the Constitution rabbit food, which I don't have on the PTR, but it's going to be the 40 stat food for the Constitution. It's going to be the high tier food. It's the tier 5 recipe. That one's going to be good, so the prices on that's going to go up, because people are going to be wanting to make a product that they can resell, right? And if they can resell that product and level up their cooking aptitude at the same time, that's a double win for them, so they're always going to go for that route. So every single material required for the rabbit food is going to go up through the roof, and that's probably going to be how cooking is going to go for the most part. I would also keep an eye on some of the split recipe foods, like where it gives a little bit of constitution and a little bit of dexterity at the tier 5 level, where it still reaches that 40 stat value, as people will be going for some of those ingredients as well. But if you are a master chef, I would go ahead and use your best judgment on that and take a look at these cooking ingredients and see what you feel is going to go up in price. So now we will talk about the final one, which is going to be furnishing, and I'll tell you why this is going to be so important. So we're going to head over here to the workshop, and we're going to scroll down. So people are going to be making tons of things to level up. They're probably going to be making mahogany stains, because that's the best way to level up in furnishing. It's just the cheapest. So you're going to need pure solvent. Pure solvent is going to go up super high in demand. And every other stain along the way is going to go up, because people are going to be trying to level furnishing for a few reasons. So once this goes up, oil will also go up. So that's just going to be insane demand there. So the price of oil and all solvents will be rising through the roof. Then you will also have some recipes. I know a lot of people make beds, like bunk beds, cherry bunk bed, or cherry things like that. Whatever it is, the recipe that you can get your hands on, because you have to find that recipe. So some of those recipes will go up for the bed recipes, and also create the items used to create the bed recipes, which I don't know off the top of my head, because I'm not a super furnishing expert. I just, I get my other friends and guild members to craft those things for me. But I know that they made and leveled up through the cherry bunk beds, so they kind of got up through there, and through the use of mahogany stains, right? Like all the stains, they leveled up with those. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be like ironwood and some stuff like that. So once again, ironwood going up. But the reason why you want pretty much any trade item that's going to be used in furnishing is going to be going up super high, because according to the datamine notes, or according to like New World Database and some of the notes that are in there, the new tier 3 aptitude level boxes for furnishing are going to be containing trophies. So you're going to be able to get loaded dice and cool things like that, stacked deck for the tier 2 trophy. So that's going to be really something awesome to see. But more importantly, in the tier 3 aptitude box, we did have listed in there, which should be listed, an item called what was it, glowing something, the thing that was required for the Angry Earth tier 3 trophy, which is not in the game yet, and as well as the Lost trophy and the corrupted totem trophy is also in there. So all of the max tier trophies is going to be available in there for the first time. I believe the only one that we had in there before was the corrupted totem trophy, which came from Pitlord Dele, I believe, who was in Shattered Mountain. But the other ones, like the glowing sap and all that stuff, that was just not found in the game, as well as the ancient mandible legendary version. So there's like a little bit of a rumor there, where basically we think that there might be some high stuff in this tier 3 furnishing box. It's yet to be tested, so grain of salt. It may or may not be there, But regardless, I think there's still going to be some people looking for the furnishing recipes to go around the roof, because you're supposed to get, as the devs stated, goods that are related for your box and recipes and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of interesting things. So I would expect that the furnishing items would go up as well. Not to mention everybody just trying to level these up, because there's going to be more trophies coming in, and everyone's going to be wanting to max their profession, whatever that is, now that they're hitting their trade skill aptitude caps, and they're going to want trophies. So if you can be someone who makes the trophies, this is also going to shoot up through the roof. So making these minor trophies would still probably be good profit, as people are going to need something to start off with, even for things like engineering. So people are going to be leveling new professions. So making the minor trophies, the major trophies, and even the basic trophies, those are all going to be really high in demand in terms of value. So with that being said, I'm now going to give you my top 3 moneymakers that I'm going to do personally here. So for me, I'm going to be doing Arcana for sure. That's going to be my number 1. I'm going to be buying the ingredients for health potions in order to make those up, and I already have done so already. I have a good stockpile, so I'm going to be making like 5,000 some odd health potions to get my Arcana up to tier 3 aptitude, so that I can get a guaranteed 600 craft item of my choice, or well, maybe not my choice, but maybe random. So I can get like maybe a fire staff or a life staff, guaranteed 600, and I can sell that on the market. The next thing I'm going to be investing in is going to be motes from the Stonecutting station. So I'm going to be going into pretty much everything that's required to make tuning orbs. So I'm going to buy all tuning orb materials and invest in them. I have a stockpile of runestones. I have a stockpile of elemental motes. I have all this stuff already. Like, I have it already, and I'm going to keep buying some of it at decent prices. I'm not going to go overboard because I've been watching the price for a while, but I am going to keep this. I have a stockpile of corrupted runes as well, so I'm going to be controlling a lot of these items on the market for my own personal, just endeavors and what I want to gain here, and also using them to make my orbs that I want to be creating on cooldown. So that's going to be my second most important thing. And the third thing that I'm going to be investing in is probably orichalcum, because I know that a lot of people are going to be going crazy over this. So I'm going to be getting orichalcum and platinum as well. So anything related to this, asmodeum, tolvium, cinnabar, I'm going to be going after these items and trying to get them now while they're a little bit cheap, because they should be going up very high, and I know a lot of people would be going this. I know I bought orichalcum ore at 0.3 or something, 0.03, and as soon as I bought it, after the PTR was out for a little bit, these things rose up to like 0.6 or something, 0.60, so like it's a crazy profit margin there. So getting some of those early, if it's still there on your server, would probably be a good idea. So that's going to be my top 3, is going to be Arcana, Stonecutting, anything related with Stonecutting, and I'll also dip a little bit into gems, to be honest, because I think that these gems are going to be a great way to power level. As you can see, 30,000 Stonecutting experience, and if I want to create a purple gem out of blue gems, 41,000, so I bought up a lot of blue gems myself in order to prepare for that aptitude funneling thing that's going to be going on there. Not to mention that everybody's going to be wanting the cut gems, so if I buy the blue gems now and I make them into purple gems that other people can use to cut and level up in Stonecutting, they're probably going to want these because they need to level up to 200 in order to get their tuning orbs made, because it's going to be super important now. So if you haven't got Stonecutting to 200 before, do it. It's going to save you a lot of time. You really, really want to do this. So the price of regular blue gems and the price of purple gems will probably go up. And then I will also be touching up on the smelting materials. So that's going to be asmodeum, cinnabar, tolvium, and orichalcum as well. There is probably something to be said in furnishing, but I am skill level 0, so that's not going to be something I'm personally investing in. But if you are furnishing level 200, then you might want to start checking out some of the furnishing materials and try to get those big trophy boxes, because if you can be the first person to hit tier 3 aptitude and you can get that trophy that's technically not in the game yet, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a tryhard that will pay a lot of gold for it. So keep that in mind. That could be something nice to shoot for. All right, well, with all of that being said, the whole 9 yards, I just want to thank everybody for sticking through and watching the video. I really appreciate that, and all the fans and community that have been sticking with the channel. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting us, and I do want to remind you that we have that subscribe, like, and bell button down below. Make sure to check that one out. We also have the join button if you wish to become a member today, and a Discord in the description link if you just want to hang out and chat. Thanks for your time, and we will catch you in the next video.